Good morning, everybody. Gregg Weiss from Delray Beach Community Forum. We're very excited to have you here today. Over the next 3 to 4 days, we're going to be interviewing all the candidates that are running for Delray Beach City Commission. Just a little bit of housekeeping. This Wednesday from 6 o'clock onward, there's going to be the debate hosted by the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce at Arts Garage. That does start at 6 o'clock. It'll be live streamed in 2 places. It's going to be live streamed in Delray Beach Community Forum as well as the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce's page as well. So we're very excited to be bringing that to you. And today's first interview is going to be with Commissioner candidate Angela Burns. So we're going to get right to that in a few minutes. Thank you very much, and we look forward to more of these forums going forward. Good morning, everybody. Gregg Weiss from Delray Beach Community Forum. It's a pleasure to have you here today. Over the next 3-4 days, we're going to be interviewing different candidates that are running for Delray Beach City Commission. It's an exciting way to get through our format to get the message out from all the candidates. In a new world, modern social media platform. So we're very excited to be bringing this to you. So the first interview today is going to be with Angela Burns, who's running for seat 4. So we have 4 questions. The 4 questions were posed from you, our members of Delray Beach Community Forum, and I'm going to introduce Angela, and we're going to get right to it. Angela, would you like to say a little bit to our viewing audience?
Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself to the community. My name is Angela Burns, and as he said that I am a candidate for seat 4, Delray Beach City Commission. I am a child of Delray. I moved to Delray Beach with my family when I was 8 years old, attended all my elementary, junior high, and then actually went to Boca Raton High in '72. But I've lived in Delray for 55 years. I've been a public servant all of my adult life. I have 2 children, 3 children, 3 grandchildren, and 2 dogs. I have been an educator for the last 32 years, working right here in Delray Beach for the last 20 years at Village Academy School. And as a teacher for 32 years and a mother of 3, grandmother of 3, I have realized that it really does take a village to raise a child. And I think that same philosophy works for our government. It will take all of us, communities, neighborhoods, working together to govern our city properly. I'm a first-time politician. I consider myself a community activist and a public servant, as I think that working together and doing what's right for the citizens that live in this city, working together and just forming connections. I think there's a big disconnect in Delray Beach. I think that information is scarce. And I think that working together with everyone, having a city commission who listens to the people, who values their input, working with economic development, creating opportunities for everybody that lives in this city, and then creating those opportunities and support for small businesses. Those are my priorities. So I'm running for a city commission, and I'm excited about it and excited to share my views with you.
Oh, that's fantastic. We really appreciate you taking time out this morning to be with us. So we have 4 questions. I did not commit them to memory, so those of you in the audience, I will be using note cards, and so I appreciate your patience there. So the first question today, what specific ideas do you have? What actions would you take to create more opportunity for students in Delray? And if you like, I can read it again just so it can sink in a little bit more.
No, I think that, as an educator, I've worked firsthand with students, and I've seen the lack of access to all students of Delray. I think that we need to provide access to opportunities, to resources, to people, and I think that every child is entitled to an equal opportunity, equal education as all other students. I mean, education is it transforms lives, and so opportunity for everyone. We have, there's always this constant barrier of funding. However, working together with our community, I think that all children should be given the opportunity to have a what they call it VPK, which is the voluntary pre-kindergarten.
Okay.
Everybody should have access to that. Right now, it's tied to income. If you earn a certain income, then your child doesn't qualify. But I think all children need a great start. Summer programs for all. Right now, the only children that are offered a summer program are those students who fail the state test. And then there's that summer reading loss, or summer slide, they call it.
Sure.
So we need programs that will engage students in the summertime so that there isn't that loss, so that they're not further getting behind, that will develop their study skills, their leadership skills, while working for proficiency in reading, math, and science. Also, we have a plethora of nonprofit organizations in our city. I know that there are 9 major Black fraternities and sororities. I would look to bring everybody together to provide those services that they're individually dividing, put them under one umbrella, because the goal is the same. We want to make changes in our community, provide equal opportunities for it. So we need to work together, come together as a group, and pool our resources together to service the children of our community. And also wraparound services that would be attentive to the family needs. You know, families are struggling. We have a problem of affordability here in Delray. Livable wages, affordable housing. Parents are working every day. They can't afford to take off to take care of themselves, let alone their children. So they send children to school sick. So we need to make sure that we're also providing services for the families as well. Resources, health care, anything that will support the family so that the family will be able to support their child in the education. And also grant writers. There are many people, talented people that can write grants, and there's funding out there. I hear all the time, there's funding out there. So we need those persons that are able to do that, to write those grants and get them out. And then also, Dr. Robinson, support the school board. I mean, I know that as an elected official, there's not much that you can do to change, but we can lobby in Tallahassee. We can support our school district, work with them, partner with them. Dr. Deborah Robinson has really worked hard on the village center, and they're planning to bring all kinds of technology programs, certification programs, apprenticeship programs. We need, as a city, we need to support those programs. That's a start.
That is a very powerful start. So I appreciate your input and your insight on that. So we're going to switch from education onto economic development. And there's been a lot of talk about economic development in the city of Delray Beach with the absence of an economic development leadership team. So the question that was submitted was, now that Vin Nolan, Joan Goodrich, and Elizabeth Burrows have left the Office of Economic Development, and it's currently, to be quite blunt, without staff, in a city of 69,000 residents with a budget approaching $140 million, actually it's north of $140 million, one could argue that no one is steering the economic ship that is known as Delray Beach. What are your thoughts on the need for leadership in the area of economic development, and what would you do to facilitate the process of filling these vacancies?
Well, next to the city manager, I think an economic development is like a major portion of our city. To have development going in the proper direction, it's very obvious that Delray's economy is dependent on the entertainment district and the real estate market, and this increases this has created some disparities or inequity for the residents of Delray. You're either earning a professional salary or you're earning a service salary, and there's no in between. So whoever leads the economic development in Delray must have the talent to address the disparities that we have community. This person must be sensitive to the needs of all people. I mean, we have disparities all over the city. We have our senior citizens who are living on a fixed income. You know, some of them have retired, some of them are disabled, but that's a fixed income. So there are many disparities all over our neighborhood and our city. So we need someone who's going to be sensitive to those needs. Someone. I would support having a job fair that we look for someone right here, homegrown, that would be able to address those needs, that knows our city, that knows our citizens, that would be sensitive to the needs of Delray, as opposed to creating more businesses downtown. Someone that will be willing to grow our economy, find ways to increase wages for our residents, increase in the skills in our residents so that they can compete in a global society. Someone to find ways, as I said, I'm very passionate about growing small businesses. Someone who just has a wide range of knowledge, like the knowledge that we lost in those positions for those persons. And then promote fairness and equitable policies within our city.
So basically, in a nutshell, you do believe it's imperative that the city really puts the recruiting and hiring of an economic development team at the top of the list.
Absolutely, absolutely. How can a city go further and there's no one driving that machine?
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate that. We're going to go on to question 3. And we're actually going to keep the theme of economic development going because we did have a couple of other economic development questions that were submitted. So this one, on the subject of economic development, what specific ideas do you have? What actions would you take to spur economic growth and diversity in Delray Beach?
Well, my ideas on economic growth includes a kind of shift in the ideology or the thinking. It includes community wealth building. Community wealth building creates a sustainable economy for local talent. It increases business ownership. It creates a way to keep our dollars in our city. I know that in many cities across the country, I know they're doing it in Philadelphia, they're doing it in Cleveland, where they have the anchor businesses like your hospitals, your Home Depots. Those businesses are now leaving their funding inside the city as opposed to sourcing it out.
Sure.
So I see a push toward wealth building for all of our citizens. I think that everyone is entitled to what the city has to offer, and that we need to concentrate on including everybody and not excluding.
A rising tide lifts all boats, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So the last question, and then of course at the end of the questions you'll be able to have a closing statement to address anything not covered today. So this is an interesting question, and the reason why I chose this question from the one submitted is because it was one that was not addressed in the other 2 debates. And it has to do with safety in Delray Beach and the crime rate in Delray Beach. So this is a long one, so bear with me. Neighborhood Scout, which is a service that tracks crime rates both in a regional and a national level, they just gave Delray Beach a rating of 7% out of a possible 100% score. Okay. Basically, they found that we have 42.6 crimes per 1,000 residents in Delray, and actually what's even a little bit more disconcerting is that we have about 5.9 violent crimes per 1,000 residents, which is one of the highest in the area. So
Wow.
how important is it for residents and visitors to have a safety factor? You want the residents and the visitors to feel safe when they're living, working, playing in Delray Beach. So what are some of your ideas for improving the safety here in Delray Beach?
Well, everybody wants to feel safe inside of their homes and outside of their homes. And I've been a victim of robbery outside of my home, devastating incident in the year of 2000. But the community relationships, as I said, there's a disconnect of community in Delray Beach. And I think I am a proponent of being powered by the people. I know that in the 90s, the Delray Beach Police Department started the community policing approach, where they started these foot patrols, and they became engaged with the citizens in Delray. The children knew them. Some children sometimes have a false idea of what's happening globally about police officers. So they
Sure.
started this movement where they were going around and being a part of the community, and that really made a difference in the community. When you can walk up to an officer and call him by name, and he can call you by name, or he knows your family. So I think that working together as a community, and the community assisting the police with the school. If you see something, say something. The community has to work together. And I think that Chief Sims has spoken that he is also starting again, or continuing that process of engaging with the community. We have to rely on community-based education, civilian education, educating the civilians, educating the officers. Mental health is an issue all over the community, so you have to make sure that you're keeping the officers in top-notch with professional development, checking on their mental health as well.
Absolutely.
The very nature of their job is, you know,
It's interesting because the mental health of first responders in their daily
Absolutely.
grind is very
Absolutely.
overlooked sometimes.
Absolutely. So I am just really keen on just informing the city, connecting the city. People think that, people don't care. People do care. I think that we just need to do a better job of making those connections, mending those disconnects. The education, as I said, as a teacher, we're constantly in professional development. I've been teaching 32 years, but I receive development yearly, several times a year in different areas. And that also has to carry over into other professions. And I know that it does. But to be focusing on the welfare of our citizens, as well as our officers and the community, helping our police the city.
Well, it all adds to quality of life. People absolutely need to feel safe as a big component of their quality of life, and we definitely appreciate your viewpoints on that. So we've gone through 4 questions, actually in pretty good time. Now you have the opportunity just to give a little bit of your vision, a little bit of your thoughts. Really, this is your closing statement. We're not going to time it, but just
Yeah.
I would say try to keep it as succinct as possible, but let's let the people know what you're thinking and feeling
Yeah.
about Delray Beach and your candidacy and what you'd like to see done.
Well, in Delray Beach, it's a great city. As I said, I love this city. My great grandfather was a pioneer in this city, so I have very deep roots in the city. I love the city. I moved back to. I was offered jobs in Daytona Beach, where I got my undergrad degree,
Mhm.
but I wanted to come back and make a difference in my own community, give people hope that there's a chance in life with opportunity. I just feel that the disparities that we have are real. We need people that will acknowledge those disparities. We need people who care about other people. As I said, my calling is to community service. My calling is to serve the people. I am very passionate about open and honest government that don't keep secrets from their citizens, that include their citizens, that value their citizens. I am a proponent of economic development so that there's sustainability for everyone. Across cultures, across neighborhoods, we all deserve equal access to resources, and also supporting our small businesses. We just need to revitalize our community, do the right thing by people, and bring about some change. I mean, to say we always did it that way. Well, if that way wasn't showing equality and including everyone, then it's time to make a change and moving forward so that we have prosperity and sustainability for all of our residents in Delray.
Excellent. Well, listen, thank you again for taking so much time out to be with us today.
You're welcome.
It's very exciting to be able to use Delray Beach Community Forum and the whole video and social media as a new platform for candidates to get their voice out there. And we're just excited, and good luck in the race. And it was a pleasure having you this morning.
It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.